When we sit in the power, we are just sitting for ourselves, for our own sensitivity, for our own attunement. We sit in the power, and over time, your sensitivity increases. Sometimes you can have static electricity, or you can have things like that happen. Sometimes it's just feeling quiet. Sometimes it's just feeling peaceful. But most of the time, we are just sitting for ourselves to be able to attune, to be able to be quiet, to be able to still the mind, so that when the spirit person is trying to communicate with us, we're not nattering in our heads. We can't stop the mind moving, but we certainly can become more mindful. What we just want to be able to do is just develop practices where we can just start to quiet the mind, where we can settle down, where we can just be present in the moment, so we can turn our focus to the spirit world, and we have created the space for them to be able to communicate. And this is why we sit in the power. But we don't sit in the power to receive messages. Although some people, if you're particularly clairvoyant, you might see colors going flashing around, or you might see an image. If you're particularly clairsentient, you may start to feel shifts in your energy field. It's different for everybody. You've got to think about mediumship, normalize it in the way we work in the normal world, right? The physical world. We don't all communicate the same way. We don't all have the same faculties. Some people are really musical, some people are really empathetic, some people are beautiful artists. We're all different, right? So your mediumship is going to have these subtle differences as well. So you have to bear that in mind. The more you do the work, and the more you sit in the power, and the more you do the practices, and the more you do the psychic work, the more sensitive you become, so that you notice ever and ever increasingly subtle shifts. But it comes over time. The whole reason why we sit in the power is to be able to still the mind, to be able to get centered, to be able to send out the intention that we are ready and willing and present to work, right? And get present and get the ego out of it and get ready to work. And just to make that intention and connect into the power of all that is. We just move our awareness to it. That's what we're doing. So when we come to work, we don't need to have to sit there and do the whole visualization process and all the rest of it, because we know how to just settle, how to get still, how to set our intention, and then just turn our awareness to say, hello, who's here to talk to me? And all it becomes is, when you actually go to work, the power is simply just moving, is getting still and moving your awareness to who's there, inviting somebody in. We sit in the power for ourselves on our own time, but we don't do that when we're just about, because we don't need to do it when we're about to work, because we know we can quite quickly, on a few breaths, get still. We can move ourselves into that sort of sacred space of awareness and just send up that gentle invitation to somebody to join us. And that's all we need to do.